In this video, we share our experience at Lakeside Game Reserve. We had a memorable time, and as always in the African bush, there were plenty of surprises along the way. Found this massive flap-neck chameleon. Situated in the northern region of KwaZulu-Natal, Lakeside Game Reserve is the province's most well-known wildlife reserve. Established in 1895, it holds the title of the oldest proclaimed game reserve in Africa. Our plan for the morning was to make the most of the cool early hours and see as much wildlife as possible. The reserve is teeming with life, though finding the predators often takes a bit more luck and patience. The park is divided into two distinct sections, Hlihliwi in the northeast and the much larger Umfolozi section in the southwest, where we enjoyed our game drive this morning. To the south lies an area which is off limits to the public, accessible only to those on guided walking trails. Having grown up in KwaZulu-Natal, this reserve was a place we often visited as a family. We'd make day trips to the park, which were simple outings that hold some very special memories. Watching this hammerkorp set off on its fishing activities was really interesting. Just look how it uses its feet to disturb the water and flush any potential prey. And soon we were crossing the Umfolozi River and venturing deeper into the reserve. During the dry season, the river can shrink to just a trickle, but it continues to flow year-round. I've never seen it completely dry, and it's an iconic feature of the landscape. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We're in the Hlihliwi Umfolozi Game Reserve, and we'll be here for the next few days. We arrived at 10 o'clock this morning and we've been in the park for the last few hours. Had a short little game drive. We didn't see too much, and now we're on our way to our campsite, which is just outside of Inyalazi Gate. It's called Inyalazi Campsite, one that we haven't been to before, so it's a new experience for us. We're really excited for the next few days. Hope you guys enjoy the video. As I mentioned, there's so much wildlife to see in this game reserve, and this morning we saw plenty of general game. We also managed to see our first elephant of the trip, although it was a bit far off. We arrived at the campsite, and luckily there was still a lot of cloud cover and temperatures were nice and cool. There was also plenty of shade in our campsite. I know I've said it before, but we're well trained in setting up the tent. There isn't much to it, and we didn't even have to put up the gazebo because of all the natural shade. So we've just finished setting up here at Inyalazi campsite, and it's a really nice spot. It's got views over the Hluhluwe-Umfolozi Game Reserve and a lot of shade, nice fire pit, and there's also a bird bath where 2 dark-capped bulbuls were having a bath earlier, and we're going to go on a drive soon. It's about 3:45 now, and we'll head out at 4 o'clock. That afternoon we decided to go into the Hluhluwe side of the park, which ended up being a really good decision. The route took us to the Hluhluwe River Bridge, and then we planned to make a U-turn to head back towards Inyalazi Gate. Just as Shelly and I started reflecting on our slow day in the bush, out of nowhere, in a moment we least expected, a pack of wild dogs came running down the road towards us, as if we didn't exist, almost as if the road was paved just for them. This pack of wild dogs were clearly on the hunt. Just look how they flushed this family of Inyala from the bushes. We were lucky to be the only car at the sighting, and after following them for about 10 minutes, we continued on towards Inyalazi Gate to make it there before closing time. What a privilege to have a sighting like this of one of Africa's most endangered predators. As you can see, I was absolutely thrilled by that sighting. This is the largest chameleon species in southern Africa, a truly beautiful animal. Females lay their eggs in burrows on the ground, and they catch their prey using their long, sticky tongue with remarkable speed and precision. Yeah, so after that incredible afternoon drive, can't believe the sighting that we had of those wild dogs. We got back to Inyalazi campsite, and they've got an organized little chameleon walk around the camp, and the lady running the sites, she shows you the chameleons that she can find around in here, and found this massive flap-neck chameleon. It's one of the biggest ones we've seen in KZN by far. Doesn't compare to the little one that we saw in the Drakensberg a few months ago. This slightly closer shot lets you see the intricate details on its body as well as under its throat. We spent the rest of the evening by the fire. It was quite cold, especially considering it was April, a time of year when this area is usually much warmer. And for the rest of the trip, every time we passed that bush, we had to check up on our new chameleon friend. Visit my website, richardvanhuck.com, where you'll find products like camera mounts for car doors as well as videography courses. You can also support the channel on Patreon. And thank you so much to everyone who already supports the channel. It truly means a lot and goes such a long way. The next morning, the temperatures were nice and cool as we headed back into the Umfolozi side of the game reserve. Here's the route we took. It looks like a long distance, but it's easily manageable on a morning drive. The special sightings happened just as we turned north towards the Bajan Hide. On this trip, during sunrise and sunset, the sky was painted in the most beautiful colors, and with the lush green landscape, the two complemented each other perfectly. We spent a large part of the morning driving slow and appreciating all the bird life that was around us. But that morning we did have our most special sighting of the whole trip. It's not every day that you get to see something like this. Cheetah cubs are highly vulnerable to attacks from other predators, so the mother frequently moves them to new hiding spots. Even once the cubs are old enough to eat meat, the mother still has to leave them behind when she goes out hunting, exposing them to constant danger. These cheetah cubs still had their fluffy mohawks, and it was so kind of their mom to take them for a walk along the road. Just look how thick the vegetation is. They disappeared immediately after stepping into it. We've really had such good luck during this trip. There were a few cars here before we arrived, so we couldn't get too close, bit of traffic, but unbelievable sighting nonetheless. If we arrived 10 minutes later, we would have probably missed the whole sighting. We've been waiting here for about half an hour to see if they come out of the bushes, and no luck yet. But I think we'll still spend a bit of time here. It's just gone 20 past 8, so things are starting to heat up, but still relatively cool compared to the summer months. And also last night, woke up because it was raining inside of the tent.
We've had such unbelievable luck this morning, and it's looking like a beautiful day. So we're excited to see what else we can see today.
This visit took place over a long weekend, and we were pleasantly surprised because the park felt unusually quiet. We even went a few hours without seeing another vehicle. After that cheetah sighting, and appreciating some of the general game, we made our way to the Bajan Hide, where we stopped to get out and stretch our legs. We spotted a few of the usual suspects, but eventually, after a short while, a special visitor made an appearance, the orange-breasted bushshrike. We've been cruising around the Umfolozi side of the park for the last few hours, and we came here to the Bajan bird hide, and the highlight has definitely been that orange-breasted bushshrike. But besides that, the grey-headed sparrows, the hardy dar, and then a few weavers have also been around. No mammal activity though, but that's because there's a lot of water around. I'm sure during the dry season, when there's less water, this is a real hotspot with a lot of activity. If you've been to Hlahluwe Umfolozi Game Reserve, please share your experiences in the comments. It's always special to hear what other people have seen in the park. We then stopped to have breakfast at the Sontuli Loop picnic site, which is in a beautiful location on the banks of the Umfolozi River. As we headed back to Mpila, the main camp on the Umfolozi side of the park, we had our first rhino sighting of the trip. When I was small, we would often see around 40 rhinos in a single day, but that's no longer the case. When we arrived at Mpila camp, we made a quick stop to use the network spot before heading back to our campsite.
Always on the ground.
We arrived back at Inyalazi campsite about 2 hours ago, and we've just been sitting here chilling in the shade at the campsite. It's been some strange weather today. It was really overcast earlier, and during the night last night we had to get up and close the vents on the tent because we were being rained on. And this afternoon we'll probably do a similar drive to the one we did yesterday afternoon, which was towards the Hlahluwe side of the park. This morning and yesterday morning we did the Umfolozi side, and I don't think I've explained it, but the park has two sides, the Hlahluwe side and the Umfolozi side. When you go in at Inyalazi Gate, you get to a T-junction where left is Umfolozi
and right is to Llywelyn. And Shelley and I were saying that we're done with the Umfolozi side for this trip. We'll just stick to Llywelyn this afternoon and tomorrow morning for our last drive. But yeah, really had some really lucky sightings and happy with what the park has produced for us during this trip.
We just had to check again to see if he was still there. Luckily, Shelley had her sharp eyes out because these little creatures are incredibly well camouflaged. This afternoon's drive followed the same route back to the area where we had seen the pack of wild dogs yesterday.
So we did the same route that we did yesterday afternoon, about 15 k's into the park and then another 15 k's back out, and it's been a quiet one.
That evening, after an uneventful game drive, we gave the chameleons a break and went straight to starting a fire for our bra and listened to the hyenas calling in the background. This morning, we headed through Llywelyn to Memorial Gate and took a loop road that isn't shown on this map. The drive got off to a great start when we came across this herd of buffalo, our best sighting of them during the trip. It was a great morning for viewing raptors, and this African cuckoo hawk was definitely a birding highlight. It's not a species that you often see, although I found them to be more common in northern KZN. This brown-hooded kingfisher was perched right outside a cavity in the Llywelyn riverbank, and we were quite sure it was nesting there. Then came the signs that we were about to have our first proper elephant sighting. We had seen one briefly on our first morning, but this felt different. Look how this female elephant is lifting its trunk high up in the air and smelling us. this game reserve, there are a few areas which provide sweeping views over the valleys from high vantage points. Just look at this incredible view.
We left Inyalazi campsite at 6 o'clock this morning. It was really quick packing up the camp. We've gotten faster and faster the more we do it. And we drove from Inyalazi Gate to the area around Mapumulo picnic site. And now we're just doing these dirt roads on the Hlui side of the park. But it's been a good morning so far. Had some sightings that we haven't seen yet this trip. And a few nice bird sightings as well. So yeah, we're going to be in the park till around 1 o'clock this afternoon. And then we'll head out of Memorial Gate.
We were lucky to see this dwarf bittern, an uncommon migratory bird in the area. It quickly moved off from out in the open and disappeared into the long grass. A very cryptic species. These pink-throated twin spots didn't want to cooperate. We tried our best to film them, but they never really showed themselves properly. The male's bright pink throat was just visible beneath this branch. Eventually we gave up, and just before reaching Memorial Gate, we came across this common slug eater, a species not often seen in this area.
So we've just arrived back at Memorial Gate now after our morning drive, and we had such a nice time at Hlui Amfalozi Game Reserve and such a good experience camping at Inyalazi campsite. Thank you so much for watching the video, guys, and if you enjoyed it, let us know in the comments. Also, please like and subscribe. See you guys in the next one.